So this problem, we're going to be doing a proportion test. We're going to be doing the 1 prop z test in the calculator. It says when 3,007 adults were surveyed in a poll, 27% said they use the internet. Is it okay for a newspaper to write that a quarter of all adults use the internet? Why or why not? Identify the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis, the test statistic, p-value, blah, 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 blah. So first thing you got to do is you got to get your null and alternative. This is going to be the claim right here. They're writing that a quarter of all adults use the internet. So again, one of the things you're keyed in on is you're trying to look for, is it saying less than or more than or equal to? They're claiming that 1/4 of all adults use the internet. Well, what is 1/4 written as a decimal? That's 0.25. Remember, H0 is always going to be an equal sign here. So it's going to be one, we know H0 is going to be one of the ones that has an equal sign in it. And then the alternative, if we would have had more than or less than, we would have picked one of those as H1. But the claim is that 1/4 of all adults use the internet. So the alternative hypothesis is that it's not, that 1/4 does not use the internet. We don't know if it's more than or less than. We're just saying it either is or it isn't. Okay, so after that, they're going to ask us to get the test statistic z. This is when we're going to need to do this 1 prop z test. So let's go to stat, go over to test, and it's going to be number 5. What is the p-value that we're testing? 0.25. Now, they don't give you the x value, but what they do say is 27% of 3,007, right? So we asked 3,007, so that's going to be our n value right here. The x value is going to be, well, 27% of 3,007, so that's going to be 0.27, right, times the total number we asked, which is 3,007. You can actually do that in the calculator. Now, here's something you need to be aware of. It's giving us 811.89. That we can't, x has to be a whole number value, so we're going to round that to 812. So anytime you just multiply the percentage by the total, and if you get a decimal, you need to round that to a whole number. The last thing we really need here is we need to pick which alternative hypothesis we're testing, and we're testing not equals. This should always match up with whatever sign is right here. So if it's greater than, you're going to pick this one. If it's less than, you're picking this one. And if it's not equal to, you're picking this one right here. Now we're going to calculate that. And so you see our z statistic is 2.54. Oops. And it's going to ask for our p-value next, which is this right here. We round this 4 decimal places, so 0.0112. Because that last one would round up to a 2. And now it's going to ask us for some conclusions. What is our significance level? We are using a significance level of, use the normal distribution to approximate the binomial distribution. So what is the probability that this just happens randomly? It's tiny, right? This is really, really small. So, whoops, I gotta get this done quickly because I'm gonna run out of batteries. So, we are going to reject H0 and say that there is sufficient evidence to warrant the rejection of the claim that a quarter of all adults use the internet. Since this p-value was tiny, remember, if p is low, the null must go. So that was how we got that one right.